Welcome back, guys. So today was a big day for earnings reports. So we're going to be taking a look at a few key companies like Microsoft, Alphabet, and Visa. We'll also be taking a look at this interesting little chart that I found on sector returns. I have a few key takeaways that I think you guys might enjoy. And finally, I still have been purchasing some stocks, and I want to go over which holdings I'm adding to and which holdings I might be taking a little bit of a breather from. As you can tell, we have a lot to go over here today, so stick around. Alright guys, so before I start with this portfolio update here, I want to bring us over to this S&P 500 heat map. And as you can tell, it's mostly green other than the energy sector down here. Now last week we had a lot of really good earnings reports and we had some bad. This week we've had a lot of really good earnings reports and I expect it to continue all the way into the end of the week. So I think next week this will probably be green, so that's good to see. Now, onto the portfolio update. Guys, this is my only investment portfolio, okay? Other than a 401k, this is what I'm primarily using now. I'm going to really be trying to add money to this. So, when I scroll down here when I first log on today and I see just this sea of red, it made me laugh. So I guess that's just the fair trade-off with investing. But I told you guys in the beginning that I have been adding to some holdings. So the ones that I've been adding to most and that I'm going to continue adding to most is going to be Vici, Atmos, and probably Chevron. Now, Vici, I think I'm going to keep adding to Vici until it hits $30. So I'm really going to go hit them heavy. And then some holdings that I think I might be, taking it back a little bit on is probably going to be Costco. I think they're a little bit expensive right now. I'm going to wait and see what McDonald's does. And I'm also going to wait for MasterCard's earnings report to come out this Thursday to see what they do. Now, let's move on to Microsoft here. So, Microsoft had a tremendous day today, right? Microsoft ticks up on faster cloud growth and hopeful revenue forecast. But what I like about what CNBC did here is they broke this down by what services have the most growth. And as we can tell, Azure and other cloud services up, dynamic products and cloud services up, official Office commercial products and cloud services up. And then we take a look down here, server products and cloud services up. So they're doing a really good job with their cloud services. And if we go over here to their press release and webcast, look at their revenue. It was $56.5 billion, increased 13%, okay? That's fantastic, guys. Net income was $22.3 billion and increased 27%. So guys, they're really taking over with this cloud network that they have, this cloud service. And it's good for them. Guys, I've told you that Microsoft is my favorite company to invest in. I think they are to the moon. So I'm very happy with this press release for their earnings report. Now let's move on to Alphabet. Now Alphabet's a funny one here. I'm going to scroll up so you can see this headline. Alphabet beats Q3 revenue and earnings, but cloud business falls short. Now, if I go to this right here, it says Google's earnings announcement comes as the company is battling two antitrust suits filed by the DOJ. It accuses the company of abusing its power and distorting competition in the online search and digital advertising markets. Now, let's go over to Google's earnings report here. So their revenues, they did a fantastic job. Their net income, they did a fantastic job. Now, what they're saying is that they didn't do a great job with their cloud, their Google Cloud. They only went up, let's say, it's like $1.5 billion. They were projected way more. But what Google does really well is their Google search is at $44 billion and their advertising is at $59 billion. They're seeing a lot of growth there. And now that article, I find it funny that that's exactly what this right here, the DOJ is coming after them for. This is what they're being accused of, is for being, the best at advertising and search. So that might be a problem in the future for Google, but right now they had a fantastic earnings report. So let's move on to Visa. Now, it says here, Visa stock rises on earnings, resilient consumer. Cross-border recovery drive payments growth. So the resilient consumer, I talked about it in my last, maybe second to last episode, where I'm basically saying, guys, a recession's coming because everyone's spending, okay? If we go over here and we look at their Q4 earnings, okay, their net revenue, let's see, 8.6 billion. GAAP net income, 4.7 billion. They had 11 and 19% growth there. And what they're saying is their cross-border volume is going way up. Their payments volume, their processing has gone way up. So they're saying that everybody has been spending. This is a good thing. Yeah, this is a great thing for Visa, for MasterCard, for companies like that, for retail companies, all that. But guys, I said it in my last episode, it's got to slow down. So I think this is great for Visa. They had a really good earnings report. This is very solid. It might even continue for one more quarter, but guys, it's got to slow down at some point. So I'm thinking Visa will end up slowing down. Maybe not this next quarter, but maybe after that. But right now, this is a fantastic earnings report. Now let's jump into this little chart here that I found, okay? I think this is very interesting, right? So one thing that I notice is that there's one constant on this chart. If you take a look right here, tech, tech's there, tech, tech went down here for 2022. Everybody was basically down other than energy, and then tech's back up. So the one constant that I'm seeing is tech is just absolutely exploding. We know that though, guys, okay? I'm 28. Obviously, I know that tech has taken over, okay? Grew up around it. I know that tech is taking over. It's just to see it on this chart, how much it's absolutely dominating. You don't see many repeat customers up here, right? You see a couple of the healthcares, you see a couple of the financials, but for them to consistently just be right up here is mind-blowing to me. And I think it continues. I think it continues with them. I think communication services will fall down. I think energy might end up taking their spot. Financials might end up taking their spot. And I think healthcare is going to end up way down, right? Consumer staples might end up way down, especially for 2024. Guys, tell me what you think the best sector is going to be for 2024. I think tech's going to be number one. I think tech will take over, no doubt. But another thing that I take from this chart, okay, a big key takeaway is that diversity matters, right? So we can see here the S&P 500 is in gray. You can really swap out from 1 through 5, basically. You can really just interchange all of these. So it's not like tech's the only one that's up there, and it is. It's like tech is the only one up there consistently, and after that, it really just gets swapped out. We see a handful of consumer discretionaries, financials, but they're not as consistent as tech. So it just shows how important it is to be diverse in your portfolio, okay? So that's all for today. Really just a lot of really good earnings reports. Microsoft with an absolute monster earnings report, Alphabet with another great earnings report, and Visa with another great earnings report. So all three are companies that I would be invested in. I love all three companies. I've been seriously considering getting in on Visa. I love Microsoft, and I don't know about Alphabet. I have them in VU, obviously, but I don't know if I would individually invest in them. But those are my thoughts, and that's what I had to talk about today, guys. So thank you.